Hey guys, welcome to Blue Bridge. And so VAR have offered Fulham an apology after the disallowed goal over the weekend. So in this video I'm going to say, were they right to offer an apology, and did they have a little bit of media influence that allowed them to have this apology? So let's get into it. So Howard Webb has come out to explain why he apologised and why he thinks that the goal should have been allowed. Respectfully, I disagree with you, Howard Webb. Not because I'm a Chelsea player. Even if, as I said in my video the other day, had it happened with a Chelsea player done that and I saw that stamp, then I wouldn't have been too disappointed if that goal had been disallowed. And his explanation, I don't think, for me, it's incorrect. But the reason is because if you look, first of all, Muniz does that spin, yeah, but Chalobah, the ball was still in reach of Chalobah. If you look at Chalobah's body position, he was getting ready to do a slide tackle. And if you look at Muniz, he messed up the second part of the skill. So the first part was to do the spin, but the second part, he wanted to do like a little flick. So he's got that wrong. And Chalobah's come in, he said he's moved into Muniz's space, but how is he going to try and win the ball if he doesn't? So he's in that space first, and Muniz comes down on his foot. So look, the other thing is, he said you only rule something out if it's not clear and obvious. In the dialogue between the referee and the VAR, he said, you could quite clearly hear him saying, "Oh, I didn't see the fact that Muniz has stamped on Chalobah's foot." So that's why he sort of gave the decision, because he thought that it was Chalobah who put the foot in to make the challenge. That's what the dialogue was. So in his head, it was a clear and obvious decision, and that's why he made the call that he did. So I for one, and no, for me personally, foul, no goal, right call. The reason I think that Howard Webb has come out and made this apology, because he made it really quickly. I think it's a backlash from the media, and the media play an important part in all of this, because I was watching it on what the BT narrative, or the TNT narrative, totally different from BBC's commentator Jonathan Pearce, because with TNT they kept going on about it every 2 or 3 minutes. So Howard Webb's going to be watching that and looking at that, and it's obviously going to have an influence in his mind. When Jonathan Pearce for the BBC had a look at it, he said, "Oh, I think it's going to be disallowed because there's a stamp on his foot." That's what he said. That was the position that he took. And it did prevent Chalobah from having to put a challenge in. It took him out of the game, and an accidental stamp or whatever. And it doesn't matter if, okay, that's in his space and that's the only way where he can put his foot. It doesn't matter, because if you put it in okay, so what you're saying now is, if that bar's been set, if a attacker is running with the ball in the penalty area and he's put his foot down in the space where the defender's going to run into, and he's just got there a fraction ahead of the defender, but the defender has only got one place to plant his foot, and that's on the attacker's foot in the penalty box, is that going to be no penalty then? Because the attacker was there first, and the only way that the defender could plant his foot, plant his feet, is on the attacker's foot. Are they going to say no penalty for that as well? No. Every 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, sorry, they're going to give a penalty for that, accident or no accident. So for me, that accident thing doesn't wash neither. As I said, I think it's just because of the pressure which was came from like a lot of pundits and commentators, is why Howard Webb has made this call. And the same referee, this is the same referee who, where was our apology when Cucurella should have got a red. He was a Bournemouth. Can't remember the Bournemouth guy when he pulled the hair of Cucurella, and this referee had a look at it, and he didn't give a red card. Every other time, this a hair pull has been happened to Cucurella. It will also happen in the World Club Cup by different officials as well. It's resulted in the only other time was when that what's his name, the guy from the Wirral, the referee from the Wirral, can't remember his name at the moment, but he said he didn't give a VAR call because he was protecting his mate, blatant cheating, and he was one of the ones who came out and said, oh, it should have been a goal. You can see his obvious bias. Still can't remember his name, it's just blotted out of my memory, but Mike Dean, that's it, Mike Dean. So there was two occasions. One when Mike Dean said, after he retired, oh, I should have told him to go to the VAR box and recommend a penalty, but I didn't want to upset my mate. Come on now, that's corruption at its fullest from a referee. And this referee we had on Saturday, who didn't give a red card for a hair pull, which is quite clearly a violent conduct, which we've seen. So where was our apology for that one? And we went on, I think it was a draw. We could have went on and won that game. That could have been crucial in finishing top four. No apology, and no outcry as well from the media about that. I didn't see the media going on about that 24/7 like they've done with the Fulham decision. Where is the outcry when Tyreek Mitchell put a challenge on Pedro Neto last year, which was a clear and obvious penalty? And the reason why people are not talking about it is because I don't think BBC's even mentioned it as a possible penalty. They didn't dissect it in the way they dissected this situation with Fulham's goal. Same thing when Hughes from Crystal Palace should have got a second yellow last year. But yeah, when the reason I'm mentioning Crystal Palace twice is because, again, Chelsea involved, and a right call because of the wall, and where Gueye not only pushed our player but went into where it was a metre into the wall. Again, it was a public outcry from the media because of that decision as well. And it's us, us as Chelsea fans are always screaming about agenda, and people saying, oh, you're being paranoid or whatever. But there's no energy when we've had decisions after decision after decision go against us. We've had the Maguire one, and with the kick when he kicked back Shuey. We've had that one. We've had the one where again Maguire was wrestling with Azpilicueta. So many decisions we've had, and no apologies, and no dissection by the media and saying Chelsea have been hard done by. Our only voice is Rob Watton, who's actually a Chelsea supporter when they do Ref Watch, and he's the only one. Nobody on the BBC or anything says that Chelsea are hard done by at all. But when it happens on the other side, when it's a Chelsea player and the VAR's gone for us, which is quite rare because it hardly ever goes for us, then there's a public outcry. And what that's going to do as well is two incidences involving Chelsea this year, and some people are saying about the West Ham one as well. So it's going to make referees think twice about giving decisions for Chelsea, because they know that if they give a wrong decision, there's not going to be that much of a media outcry. They can get away with it. And psychologically, it does affect the referee when it comes to making decisions. So that's my rant. Am I being biased, do you think? Or do I have a point? Stick your comments in the section below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you'll be notified every time I make a new video.